Alright, so welcome back to Haas to Glory. This is episode number 2 of season 2. We're going to Saudi Arabia. It's a street track, so, you know, I'm probably going to have a decent race. I'm usually quite good around street tracks, although I do crash quite often. Last time out at the season opener at Bahrain, it was a very topsy-turvy race because we started on the soft tyres and I was really fast. I got all the way up to like P12 at one point, and then I pitted, went onto the hards, and it went a bit wrong. For some reason, the car just wasn't a car anymore. It was more of a chihuahua, in a way. It was skidding around every single corner like no man's business, and I hated every second of it. But even with those problems, I still managed to get P13, which is a really good result considering where we are, you know, compared to the rest of the field. As you can see, last. Slightly behind Sauber, and a little bit behind Alpine, V-Carb and Williams, but still last. So I reckon P13 is probably the absolute maximum of result for a weekend. The only way we're going to get into the top 10, which is where Red Bull, McLaren, Aston, Ferrari and Mercedes are, is if one of them DNFs and I get a bit of luck. But let's get to the track for quali and see if we can beat that result of P13, as unlikely as it is. Alrighty, so welcome to quali. We have our first laps in. Nico Hülkenberg, who, let's be honest, he's the only person I'm trying to beat. I'm not going to set targets for like top 15 because that isn't going to happen at every single track. There's one thing that I can always try and do, which is beat my teammate, and it should always be possible. So why is he so slow? I'm not being funny. He's half a second off. Wait, isn't Kevin Magnussen in a Red Bull? Or am I tripping? No, I'm tripping. So Kevin Magnussen in the RB, half a second up on Hülkenberg. The lap time we're going for to beat Hülkenberg is a 28.1, which realistically I should be able to do on the relatively easy side. Alright, here we go for the first round. Just want to say quickly before I start that I am currently on the road to 1.5k by the end of the year. It's going to be extremely difficult, but I believe that is a possible thing to achieve, and I'm not going to do it unless any of you watching right now that isn't subscribed consider subscribing. Now, let us begin. I'm going to go down to about 75% ERS. I definitely want to save a lot of it for the back straight into turn 1. A little bit late on the brakes, but we could definitely ride the curbs into turn 2. I need to remember that I'm driving a Haas. I was doing a 100% race in the Red Bull just for my own entertainment, and obviously that car is quite a few leagues better than the Haas, so I need to make sure that I'm not sending it too much into these corners. Sector 1 isn't terrible. I'd say there's about another 2 or 3 tenths in it, and I'm going to be 2 tenths down on Sonoda. That's pretty poor, even by my own standards. I will say the car is turning on the slow side. Might need to increase the aero, but it's okay for now, I guess. Send it into here, a little bit too late on the turn in, but honestly, okay, I was going to say it was a good exit until I had that oversteer snap. It's still not horrible. Of course, there is still a lot of improvement to be found, but for my first lap of the day, it's not going too bad. Now we have the very fast left. Don't brake too much. It's okay, and whoa. I am now 6 tenths down on Yuki Tsunoda. Whew. I've also just forgot to use overtake. That's my bad. I've just not done it. I've just forgot to use, like, the main thing of lap time. Okay, we'll use a little bit down the main straight. We crossed the line and at 28... Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, you see, I wasn't expecting it to be that bad. I know the lap was bad, but I didn't think it was that bad. I'm currently behind Hülkenberg. Whew, this is going to be a long day. Alright, here we go. Second and final run. I believe Hülkenberg's final lap time is going to be a 28 dead. So that's the target lap time. Almost spun on the entry. Not great. Or the exit, rather. Here we go. I'm going to use a little bit less overtake down the main straight, and this time I'm going to remember to use lots of it down the back straight. Turn 1 was a lot cleaner. Let's try and get on the power nice and early. Little oversteer snap, but honestly, not a bad turn 1 and 2. Into turn 3, earlier on the brakes, really close to the wall. On the exit, trying to avoid the oversteer. Ew, that was a lot nicer. Still managing to find improvement. Now this needs to be a little bit earlier on the turn in. Don't have oversteer on the exit. Oh, that was lovely. Now I'm going to go down to about 50 on the overtake, and then we'll go down to about 30 on the next straight. Need to actually get there first without crashing. There we go, found a little bit more time. Right, now I'm actually going to wait a little bit. DRS gets enabled. Now I'm going to go down to about there. Still pretty nice. Final corner. Here we go. Braking was pretty accurate. Get it in. Avoid the oversteer. Oh, come on. Let's go. That's more like it. I knew I had that kind of lap time in the locker. Where's it going to put me? That's good. That's nice. I like that. Yes. I will take a P17. It feels so depressing celebrating a P17. It's like Kevin Magnussen driving for Haas in Hungary, like 2020, whenever it was. You know when he got like I don't even know if he scored points, but if he did, whatever the result was, it wasn't very great. It was like a P9 at best. And they were celebrating like it was a win. And Magnussen said, oh, this feels like a win to us. That's what that feels like. That feels like I've just got like a top 3 in quali. Do you know what I mean? There's the results. Honestly, I was still, you know, about 800ths away from the next car ahead, so I don't even really care about that. It wasn't really that close. I've out-qualified Nico Hülkenberg by 0.4 of a second, and that's just a great result all round. You know, if we take a look at the race director and go down, I want to see where I improve the most. So as you can see, Sector 1, I found 0.4 of a second. Okay, so 4 tenths through Sector 1, about 2.5 tenths through Sector 2, and then another, like, tenth and a bit through Sector 3. So consistent improvement through all 3 sectors. And that managed to give me a lap time of a 27.3. I am chuffed with that. So we start the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, P17 and P20. Now, let's go for a race that I can be proud of. Yes! Alright, before we start this race, I'm going to have an emergency swig of tea of luck. Here it is. Go. Oh, lovely stuff. Right, let's cook. Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So here is the strategy for today. We're going to be running on the soft tyres for 7 laps, and then we have an 11 lap medium stint. You know what, it only occurred to me a couple of days ago that it actually tells you how many laps you do on each tyre. You see where it says on the red bit for the softs, it says 7. I never noticed that. That's how many laps you actually drive. Now, I'm not going to faff around with this too much, to be honest. There ain't really much we can change. I do think pitting a lap earlier might be better. Our lap times will be about 2 tenths faster. Plus, we can try and undercut, so I might go for this. But we'll leave it on default for now, of course, once we get to lap 7, when it is time to pit. If I feel like the undercut would work, I will, you know, trigger it. And I think we're ready. So round 2, Jeddah Grand Prix, starting P17. Let's do it. Now, as we know, my race starts have been absolutely egregious on this game. Let's hope for a good one today. And actually, that felt pretty good, to be fair. Barely any oversteer going into gear 5. That's literally never happened before. Into turn 1, up the inside of the Sauber. This is going to get very, very messy. My ERS is off. I'm going to try and swing one round the outside of these two. Get on the exit. Dump the overtake. Come on. We cannot go 3-1. I'm going to have to just outbrake them with sheer class. And that is not sheer class, is it? Okay. Alright, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to just try and, you know, not, like, lose as much time as I can. And then I'm just going to have to stop, go onto the hard tyres, and then try and just get to the end on them. That's... Yeah, to be honest, looking in hindsight at that, yeah, I didn't have to brake as late as I did. To be honest, my pace isn't even that bad, really. I mean, I'm actually catching Logan Sargent. Wait, is there a world where I can overtake Logan Sargent even with my car having, like, no front wing left? Hang on a minute, this could be generational. Come on then, Logan, let's have you. I should probably make sure that I've got the right pit stuff. New hards, come on then. Do I go for it on Logan down the inside? Okay, let's relax a little bit. But yeah, the fact that I'm not even that slow. Oh, wait. Sergeant probably has damage as well, actually. That would make a lot of sense. But he is going to stay out. Yeah, not how you want to start a Grand Prix, to be honest. Unfortunately, these things do happen sometimes. I'm a bit of a clot. Do you know what I mean? Now, of course, I'm going to be desperately slow on the hard tyres, especially near the end. What I'm hoping is that where all of the cars in front are close to each other, they are going to end up costing themselves lap time because they're so close to each other. Whereas I'll actually be able to drive, like, normally. I don't even know if there's any sort of result left for me in this. I suppose, obviously, a red flag or safety car would help me right now, but I don't know. Wait, hang on. I'm slightly confused. Can someone go back? Actually, wait, what does that even mean? Let me just quickly check something. Hold up. Let me just check something. I'm not sure how I didn't notice at the time. They didn't replace my front wing. Really, Codemasters? When my wing is hanging off and I have the thing on auto, change it. Oh my goodness. So the situation now is like, what do? I'm going to have to stop again because I have front wing damage. I literally can't drive with this. But then, like, what do? Like, why did they not change it? So because of another F124 bug, I'm forced to make another pit stop, losing another 20 seconds to the rest of the field, even longer actually, nearly 30 seconds. Okay, you know what, sure. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make my pit stop, put my new front wing on, as you can see, repair wing damage on yes, so they'll definitely change it this time. I'll be driving on my own, of course, on the medium tyres, maybe for the entire duration of the race. And if there is obviously any changes, a bit of weather, a safety car, VSC, anything like that, I'll of course update you, and then hopefully we can make a recovery from there. But to be honest, I'm half expecting to be sort of driving around on my own in last 40 seconds behind everyone for the entire duration of this race. But I suppose, you know, get a bit of practice in, I suppose, is the only optimism I can get right now. I tell you what's interesting as well is that when I got round turn 3 up here, I was thinking to myself, why is my turning so, like, slow? And then I went on my MFD, went to here, and I was saying, my wing's still yellow. That's when it occurred to me, wait, did they not change the wing? So, that's a little bit cooked, but you know what? We move. At the end of the day, sometimes it's just racing. I mean, if I never made the mistake in the first place, this wouldn't happen. If the game didn't, you know, completely bug and not change my wing, this wouldn't have happened. All those things. Sometimes it's just the way the cookie crumbles, you know what I mean? It's also important to know that if there isn't, you know, anything like a safety car virtual, a safety car, or a red flag, I don't think I can get these hard tyres to do 16 laps. Or medium tyres, sorry. I don't think they're going to last that long, even if I try to preserve them. So this might actually be cooked. I might have to make another stop near the end, put on the softs, and maybe just nick the fastest lap. Of course, I won't actually get the point for it because I'm not inside the top 10, but I could take it off whoever's currently got it and completely ruin their title hopes. That could be something in the future. Do you know what really annoys me as well is that I probably would have still lost a few places because my car would have been really slow on the old hards. But if they did change my wing, and I was right now on the hards about 24 seconds behind, I probably would have still come out in front of a couple of cars when they made their first stops, because think, it's like, a 22-second stop, 21-second stop, that kind of area, maybe even less. I was only, like, 20 seconds behind, and I probably would have been a little bit quicker, especially by, like, lap 6 or 7, so that's just a big shame, actually. That's a real big shame. I tell you what, I've got some really, really good pace right now. Look at that. Fastest Sector 1 for FUTcrim. Car feels unbelievably grippy. Tyre wear isn't that bad. As you can see, 9% in 4 laps. Really isn't too bad. I reckon, although it might be very cooked, I can actually get these tyres until the end of the race. And as you can see, I'm catching the rest of the field by about a second and a half a lap. Of course, even doing a second and a half a lap still isn't enough to catch me up, I think. But it is nice to know, in a good way, it's nice to know that my car is really fast and the grip is really good. It's a little bit annoying to know that, given how fast I am, I could have actually made some real gains in this race. Personal best lap of a 29.9, going into lap 7, almost a half race distance, and I'm just having a lot of fun just sort of driving the car, to be honest. I've just been given the bonus objective of setting a lap time of a 34.3. Blood, I have just done a 29.9. How bad of a driver do you think I am? How inconsistent do you think I am? I can spin and still do a 34.3. That is, like, depressingly slow. First drivers are making their stops. As you can see, my gap should be about 18 seconds to the next car ahead, that kind of area. Of course, though, they're going to be on a lot faster tyres, and they're going to be quicker than me. But who knows? Who knows? Still hopeful for a safety car, VSC, red flag, any of those would be very, very handy right now. Actually, not a VSC. A VSC wouldn't really help me that much because, you know, everyone stays at the same gap. I need a safety car or a red flag. So Sargent, Stroll, Ocon, Joe, do me a favour and put it in the wall, will ya? Officially at half race distance-ish, near enough. Tyres are still okay. They're getting a little bit on the worn side, but it's generally not too bad. And as you can see, I'm only 12 seconds away from Hulkenberg. I do think that's still a bit too much of a gap to overcome. But, you know, that's still a massive gain. I mean, I lost 40... Actually, no, it's a bit longer than that, because obviously I had to change my wing. So that would be... We'll just say, because I can't be arsed working out, 45 seconds I've lost from pit stops. And my gap to Hulkenberg is 12. Which means I have managed to gain, plus his 20-second stop, about 10 seconds of race time in 9 laps. That's pretty good. Yuki Tsunoda is going to pull over and have a little DNF. That's tough. At least now I'm still last of all the finishers, obviously, but I'm not last, so that's cool. Well, hang on a minute here. Wait. This is massive. Zhou Guanyu is in the pits. Oh, okay. I think he's had a bit of contact with either Tsunoda or someone else, and that's why Tsunoda's DNF'd. Is there a chance? Oh, wait. Oh. Okay, so it turns out Zhou Guanyu was actually just the last one to stop. I thought he was stopping again, but no. Okay, so he's actually miles ahead. He's actually 19. Never mind, I'm just chatting shit. Right, something crazy is happening. Look at my gap to Nico Hulkenberg. I am absolutely frying this man at this current moment in time. He is really, really slow, and I'm not entirely sure why. There is actually a world that if I lock in, focus up, and hit some consistent pace, and my tyres don't die out on me, there is actually a little chance that I might be able to catch and pass Hulkenberg. But it's still early doors. But yeah, that would be incredibly embarrassing for Hulkenberg, let's be honest. No! Oh, that's such a shame. My tyres have officially gone. That is absolutely tragic. My pace was so fast. I was catching Hulkenberg by about a second and a half a lap. But unfortunately, my tyres are now gone. As you can see, the rights really starting to let go at this stage. And yeah, I can't even drive in a straight line anymore. That's so cooked. Right, yeah. I'm not going to be catching Hulkenberg anymore. He is really slow considering how old my tyres are. You got to think my tyres are about 8 laps older than his. What I'm going to do is when it gets to lap 17, if I'm still no closer to Hulkenberg, I'm going to make another stop. My 3rd stop of the race. I'm going to bolt on some softs, and I'm going to try and nick the fastest lap off whoever's got it, just for shits and giggles, just for a laugh, do you know what I mean? Nevertheless, I am still... It's a really strange thing to say, but this has been one of the best races I have ever driven. Because, well, number one, I have been driving extremely well, apart from, of course, the unfortunate turn 3 incident on lap 1. And then, just throughout this race, I've been so consistently fast. And, to be honest, sometimes it's just fun driving on your own. My car, it still feels relatively fast, even with you know, really old tyres, it still feels okay. It's still gripped up. It still turns in nice. And it's just been really, really fun. You know, I've really enjoyed this, even though the result is obviously really bad. And it is actually quite annoying to think that, what could have been, you know? This kind of pace I've got right now, you know, and if I was actually allowed to run a normal race, who knows what could have happened. But there's no point crying over spilled milk, as they say, you know? Hulkenberg is now going to start gapping me because my tyres are gone. So next lap, on lap 17, we'll be going onto the softs to try and set the fastest lap. Alright, here we go. Time for my third pit stop of the race. Let's go. Get in there. 3 pit stops in one race. That's over a minute of race time. And you know what's even, like, sadder is that I wouldn't even have to do any of this if the game just changed my front wing. If they changed my front wing, I still had a chance. You know, there was still a chance to not finish, like, last, because I would have, you know, probably been able to undercut someone and then just stay in front. That was a genuine possibility. But it is what it is. We're on the softs now. Let's get these nice and heated up and then just have one final lap at end. I'm not from Yorkshire. At the end, for a bit of fun, try and get the fastest lap. That'll at least be something, do you know what I mean? Of course, as well, if there was a safety car or a red flag, that would have also potentially saved my race. Unfortunately, neither of those things happened. But like I said, aside, you know, the mistake I made in turn 3, aside from the pit stop bug, I'm still really happy with this result. Or not result, but race. The car was great and I've been great. And to be honest, you know, whatever. So what if I'm last? I had fun, and that's what matters. I'm just thinking of all the copium I can think of. Anyway, let's go for the fastest lap of the race. We've got a full tank of ERS. Let's do it. We're going to take the outer wide line. And I've already gone off track, but just ignore that for me. Thanks. And here we go then. We're going to turn the ERS on. And we're going to go down to about 75. This is basically just a quaddie lap at this stage, you know? This is literally just a quaddie lap. Into turn 1. Round turn 2. I should be able to get on the throttle nice and early. Now, I need to make sure that I'm using overtake on the exits of corners, because that's where you get a nice little speed boost, which I've not really done, to be honest. Max Verstappen takes the win. Nearly got lapped, but I didn't. Emphasize the didn't. There you go. There's sector 1 complete. Not too bad. It is going to be purple as well, so that's quite nice. Now we go around this long left. I've been really quick through here. There you go, very nice. Use a bit more overtake on the exit, little speed boost. Now we have the fast right on the braking. Okay. That didn't go very well. Not a purple middle sector, which to be honest is expected given my excursion. But it's fine. Down the back straight. We're going to go down to about 25 ERS. Approaching the final corner. Send it in. Braking was pretty good. Never mind, a little bit too late, but it's okay. On the exit, throttle pedal down, overtake on, and across the line. Is it going to be fastest lap? I actually don't think it was. I actually managed to cock that up. Brilliant. Okay, well, there's not much to say. I've already told you my thoughts. It was a crap race because I finished last, but the car felt great and I was driving great, so honestly, I'm not too bothered. Here is the final results, and hang on, I might have actually got the fastest lap. And the survey says... Yay! He's done it! Okay, I actually managed to do it by a very large margin as well. As you can see, the second best lap time was what? A 28.5? Yeah, 28.5, and I managed to go a 28.2, so it wasn't actually that close. 1 minute and 9 seconds off the winner, Max Verstappen. That's not... fantastic. And of course, that's the first time this season that Hulkenberg has outraced me, although it wasn't really, you know, on merit. Let's just put it that way. Which means I can't actually 60-0 him anymore. That means that in quali, it's going to be 2-0 to me. In the race, it's 1-0. Looking at the standings, Lando Norris leads the championship by 12 points. Although Verstappen won today, Lando did get an important P2. In fact, the top 4 finished as the top 4. We have Lewis Hamilton in Ferrari, his first season at Ferrari, ahead of Leclerc by 3 points. Only 1 point of Verstappen. There's only 16 points between the top 4. That is pretty good. Looking at the constructors, we sit last. Of course, the bottom 3 teams haven't scored a point yet. And, well, as you can see, there was an Alpine in 11th. There was an RB in, not an RB, a Sauber in 13th and an RB in 15th. So these two have got a higher best finish now. So they go ahead of us. But that's going to be all from me today. I just want to take one final look at these lap times, because as you can see, yeah, that's pretty consistent, realistically. You can see how the tyres get worse and worse in, like, stages. So you can see, like, this, you bracket all of these together, these lap times, and then they get worse. And then you bracket all of these lap times together, and then it gets worse, and you put these lap times together. But honestly, very, very consistent. As you can see, 3 30.5s in a row. That's very nice. But that's going to be all from me. Hope you enjoyed this rather lackluster episode of Haas to Glory. I don't even know what the next round is. It's going to be Melbourne or Japan, I think. If it's Japan, I will cry on my own for at least 2 hours. Because, well, after my Senna video the other day at this track, I don't really like Suzuka. Let's just put it like that. But that's all from me. Like and subscribe, all the good stuff. And I will see you lot next time. And before you go, here's a little Christmas joke for you. Where does the Terminator do his Christmas shopping? Asda with Visa, baby. Get it? Because he goes to Asda, the supermarket, with his Visa card. Nice one. Anyway, see you a lot later. That was the worst joke ever.